If you've been around here for much time at all, you're probably already familiar with how much I love Shadcn. It's such a good blend of a component library, a style system, and something that actually lives in your codebase. It's always been fully customizable, which is so important when you're building a system that is going to define how everything you build looks and works. But it's still a system that they're providing you. And as a result, a lot of websites just kind of stick with it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen what feel like the exact same tooltip, the exact same drop-down menu, or the exact same toast when something goes wrong on the site. And it seems like the Shadcn team feels the same way, which is why they just introduced the biggest change they have made to date with Shadcn Create. It's always been possible to customize Shadcn, but it's never been put up front quite to this level. They built a whole system for building your own Shadcn, and it's so cool. I'd go as far as say it's based, and not just because it's based on top of the new base UI primitives instead of the old Radix UI ones, although you can switch between the two, but because they put a ton of effort into this. It's really cool stuff, and I want to demo all the fun things we can do with it, as well as the history of how we got here. If you build applications for the web, I promise this one's going to be worth watching. As always, Vercella's not paying us anymore. In fact, I've spent a lot more money on them than they're paying us. Nobody who we're talking about today is paying us, except for today's sponsor. I've seen a lot of debate about how useful AI is for writing code, and I get it. For some things, it's just not as helpful as others. But there's one thing that I just refuse to believe AI isn't helpful for, and that is code review. I cannot tell you how much time AI code review has saved me, and a huge portion of that is thanks to Greptile, today's sponsor. They have the best AI code review I've ever seen, and a big part of how they got there is by fully, deeply understanding your code base. When you set Greptile up on a new project, it indexes the whole thing and builds an understanding of it that it uses when it gives feedback, and that deeper understanding really shows in the code reviews that it gives you. I can show you all sorts of examples of it catching regressions and mistakes in my own code bases, like here where it realized that I don't actually have thinking on for the DeepSeek v3.1 thinking benchmark in Skatebench. Super helpful. Like, I honestly had missed this and it caught it. And that's a mistake that my team might have had to review otherwise. And now it's caught before I bug my team. Seriously, AI code review is one of the most considerate things you can do for your coworkers because you don't have to waste their time if the AI catches those dumb mistakes first. So sure, it's helpful for me as a small dev working on a small team, but what about big teams like, NVIDIA or PostHog or Storybook or Raycast or even Mastra? Turns out it's useful for all of those, so much so that I bullied them into building this examples page that shows you real PRs in real open source projects that Greptile caught real regressions in. And you can just scroll through this page and see tons of legitimate examples. Let's just click this PostHog one, why not? This PR was trying to fix a bug in batch exports for BigQuery merges. And here is a change that it noticed has an issue. This exception handler catches all exceptions without re-raising them, which could silently hide errors after merging. Consider re-raising the exception after merging to ensure the error is properly propagated. Or let's pick this random one from Raycast. Is GitHub really down? I seriously bet if GitHub was to use Greptile for their own code reviews, we'd have fewer outages like this. Like, what? Yeah, GitHub just seriously went down when I was filming, but it kind of proves my point. Greptile will prevent regressions in all sorts of services all of the time. And hey, GitHub, if y'all want to try Greptile, I'll personally pay for your subscription because the quality of code at GitHub right now is unacceptable. Get faster feedback without wasting your team's time at soydev.link/Greptile. I know I said I was really excited, but I don't think you guys understand to what level. This is going to make so many of the things I build a lot less ugly. You can customize everything. You pick your component library, icons, base color, theme, fonts, and build something that doesn't look like everything else. Have you ever seen a component library author call this out up front so directly? Like, Shadcn was the most customizable option of any component library, arguably in history, because it dumps the code in your code base so you can change it yourself. Despite that, Shadcn's out here directly saying that people are building things that look like everything else, and they're making it way easier to not do that. No longer are you just copy pasting their code and never touching it. When you go to the new site, you click the new project button. You can view components, but you can create a project. And when you do this, you can do a lot more. We have this fancy new sidebar here where I can pick the base component library between Radix and base UI. You have a preset colored style. There's Vega, which is the classic look. Nova, which is a little more compact, where they reduce default margins and change how some box wrapping and corner radiuses work. Maya, which is a lot rounder and softer. Lyra, which is a much boxier look. This is the classic brutalist look that's getting really popular right now. And then Mira, which is a compact mode for really dense interfaces. This is a really cool way of framing this, having the rough what you'd want this for. Personally, I'm loving that brutalist look lately, so I'm going to be going for Lyra as my starting point. And you have your base colors. Thank God. I hate the default grays in Tailwind because as you see here, that is blue. Gray in Tailwind isn't gray, it's blue. I get it. Grays are hard to do right, and they were way overused, and the blue grays, for a lot of things, look a lot better, but I hate them. I really, really hate them. So I'm going to go with neutral, although stone and zinc are really good too. Stone has a little bit of like a brownish look to it. Hopefully that comes across with the video compression, but I'm sticking with neutral. But then there's the theme color. This is where things get really fun because I can pick pink. I know this might seem silly, but having a top level accent theme color like this can really make things stick out in your UI. I don't love the boxiness of the warning label here, though. I'm assuming the other styles don't do that, and that will have a different look to it. Yeah, that is the case. I do like the boxiness overall, so I am going to stick with it. But then you have font. I'm amazed they're still going with Inter as the default. If you want proof that Vercel isn't some crazy monopoly, Vercel has an alternative font to Inter. And I really like it. I use Geist all the time. I use it for my thumbnails. I was using it earlier today when getting ready for stream. I don't really call bullshit on this because I literally had this Affinity project open right before starting. Open recent, 1213. Select this text. See that? Geist. I love this font. It's really good and it's open source. They update it regularly. It's a good font. I like it. But instead, they're using Inter. I'm surprised Geist isn't even in this list. Oh, is it? But lower down. I didn't know you could scroll it. There's a hint for you guys. Finally, I have some actual feedback to give the team. Make it clear that this is scrollable, because I would never have guessed that this is a scrollable list. Oh, I actually like the Nunito Sans. Outfit's got a weird, like, slightly condensed look to it that I like as well. I like this. And you have the radius options where you can choose how much border radius you want. Wait, does that mean I could do a different base style and then change the radius to be none? Oh, that is good. That's really good. I like that a lot. I'm still sticking with Lyra for now, but man. Then you have accent color or accent styles where it can be subtle or bold. I don't think that appears anywhere in here. I shall one. This should be clear that it's destructive because I just undid all the things I did. If I make customizations, that should probably be hidden. Sorry, my cat has strong opinions on styles, as you can tell. So much going on at once. Hi, buddy. He's a shoulder cat, but he's not very good at it. Like, he's purring so much. I saw somebody ask which model Miles likes the most. He's a big fan of Grok because he's anti-vax. To be fair, I don't think any cat likes vaccines, but he really doesn't. Have you guys found my joke funny? He's having the time of his life right now. As I was saying before the interruption, the shuffle button randomizing the whole thing is bad when you just put time into customizing it, but I can go back to where I was. I wasn't too far. Ow, ow, ow. Ooh. Bye, bud. Ow. I actually like the rose. I really liked the Lyra style. I love you can change the icon sets now, that they have huge icons in here. I wish they would show them in that, but I get why they don't. It'd be annoying to fit these all in. I do really like the Lucid icons, but you got options here, and some of them are really good. We'll throw huge icons in. Why not? Yeah, this is cool. And now I can click Create Project or Open in V0. Oh, you can scroll in this. That makes sense. That's why I wasn't seeing some of the other things. If I change that from subtle to bold, will I see it there? No. Yeah, that's great. You can see all of these options and all these examples in this. This is so good. This is such a nice little way to get the starting point you want. And then from there, if you're an AI vibe dev, you can just take this, add it to your project, and you're good to go. I can click Create Project here. And now I can spin up a new Shadcn project with all of those values configured here with whatever I want to start with. And they have one clicks for Next.js, TanStack Start, and Vite. You're probably wondering why there aren't other frameworks here like Astro or Nuxt. That's because it's all very much React-based. It's built on top of base UI. And these primitives are being copy-pasted into the code base. So let's do a Next.js build for the demo. You know it's going to be what they support best. I'll use Bun because I like Bun. Project name, Shadcn custom demo. And let's take a look in here. Components UI. it's putting a decent number of them in here, but not like all of them. It has the examples, it has the lib utils, and I'm assuming that a lot of the customization is just happening on the CSS level here, with all the colors and whatnot. Yeah. Cool. This is a good starting point. Let's see what it looks like if I run it. Okay, what's happening here? Shad, do we have to have a talk? Tabbing in your returns is not an optional thing, my guy. Are all of these files not formatted properly? The CSS is formatted fine. These are formatted fine. The layout's formatted fine. What happened here? But did they get a nit? They did. And now we have our initialization. The one concern I do have with this is when you create a project, you're not setting up Shadcn in an existing project, you're making a new one, which I don't love. I wish it was easier to like dump this into my existing project, but also it's touching enough things and it's configuring Tailwind for you. I get why it's not that simple anymore. If I save this, it'll fix the tabbing and then bun run dev, see what it looks like. And here we are, the demo component that has all of our configuration. Oh, cool. This is a good example of a modal. Yeah, I don't love these icons. I might not be a huge icons guy, but it's that easy to set this all up, which is so cool. I want to demo how powerful this is once you have it set up, though. The first thing I'm going to do is add one more class name here for the body of dark, because I just want dark mode always. Oh, did it switch to gray at some point? Yeah, base color gray. I hate that. We're reinitializing. I am annoyed. This is an example of one of those things where I wish I could run it on a project instead of making a new project. And yeah, the page component still has the same problem. Hop in here, make it always dark. Much better. Now we're talking. Now I'm feeling good about it. So let's use this as a starting point. I have a couple test prompts I like to use for things. One of the ones I use a lot is my Image Gen Studio prompt, where I say this is going to be an Image Gen Studio, focus on making it beautiful, use dark mode, yada yada. Let's hop into this project, switch to agent mode. I'll start by using a smarter model. We'll use 5.2. Actually, we'll use multiple models and have Composer 1, Opus, and 5.2. Should I throw in Gemini 3 Pro? Why not? Take advantage of the provided Shadcn components. I'm going to have 4 different models generate an image generation mock studio for like making a fake UI for doing image gen. Normally, this is a great test to see how different models handle UI, but now I'm putting them all in this harness that is a Shadcn project, and I want to see how they handle this. I will also separately spin up a fresh Next.js project without Shadcn in order to compare the results. Create next app at latest, non-Shadcn examples. Recommended defaults, cool. Get status, cool, it's already initted. Cool, so now the non-Shadcn version, use Tailwind, because I already have Tailwind in the project. Multiple models, same 4 models. I will let this run as well. So we can compare with the Shadcn stuff and without. It looks like Composer's already finished its first pass. Copy work tree path, cd to here, bun run dev, bun install, bun run dev. I forgot to put that in the work tree. That'll be annoying. Up here. And this is what Composer, the ugly, bad model that can't normally make UI made. And this is a usable UI. This is fine. I don't like how it handled the spacing of these little sections here. But other than that, this is not the worst UI I've ever seen for an Image Gen Studio at all. For comparison's sake, it also finished already in the other project, the one that is non-Shadcn. So we'll cd into that, bun install, bun run dev. And here is the slop it made with awful gradients that I'm sure are compressing even worse. Okay, they're not quite as bad in Chrome, but like, this is classic AI slop that it's made. Oh God, the glow on this button is the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah, and this is the model that's meant to be like really, really fast and not very good at UI stuff. But when you hand it a good template, it suddenly gets really good at it. Now let's see how better models do. So we'll hop into Opus 4.5, which is a significant improvement for UI from our friends over at Anthropic. But how much does the Shadcn stuff help? I thought the smarter model was supposed to make code that works. Oh God, the input is lagging. Your imported icons are not working. God, that's a sticky key thing. Oh God, that hurt me. Okay, let's see how Gemini 3 did. Let's see if its code even runs. Install, bun, run dev. Yeah, the Gemini one is fine. Gemini loves making these useless sidebars. It's its favorite thing to do. If you don't believe that Gemini models love making useless sidebars, you should check out any recent Google product. This love of useless sidebars is now deeply ingrained within Google's surface area. It's like really, really funny how useless and bad the sidebar is in AI Studio. I could do a 2-hour-long video essay on all of the quirks and failures in the sidebar in AI Studio. Anyways, that's fine. But let's compare this to Gemini making it without Shadcn. I have to confirm that I'm willing to let it edit code, even though that's like all it's supposed to do. Why do I have to like re-allow it to edit code? What happened? What config broke? And why was Composer able to do this fine? What the fuck's going on? Okay, it's done. And here's when Gemini 3 Pro is allowed to generate it without existing UI template. It looks pretty good. Still has a useless sidebar because that's like the Google model signature. But again, to compare, yeah, it's meaningfully better. It's different though. I don't like the look. I also hate this here. The best I can put is like Gemini 3 Pro can make a really compelling component. It cannot make a compelling system of design. It can make a sidebar that's good looking, but it doesn't need to make a fucking sidebar. It just goes off and does shit. But at the very least, having a component library kind of like holds it on the rails a bit. Let's go back and compare Opus, which hopefully will work this time now that it's maybe fixed the components or the imports. cd bun install, bun run dev. There we go. Here's the one that was created by Opus 4.5. They did their little gradient thing here, but I don't love it in this layout. I also don't like how the spacing happened with these. Interesting. I was hoping this was going to be like a slam dunk where I would just show the different models making UI with the component library and it would all just look good. Cursor seems to think that the GPT 5.2 one is the best of these, so that'll be fun to look at in a second. But let's compare Opus without my design system. It's beautiful. Why the fuck can't Opus import a font properly? You suck sometimes, man. And obviously GPT-5 is still going. Oh, so I have to go confirm and edit. Wait, why is it touching the next env.d.ts? This model's automatically generated. It ensures the types are correct. Don't touch it. What are you doing? I hate AI sometimes, man. Let's go look at how GPT 5.2 handled all of this. Oh, wait. This loaded. Okay, Opus. You can have your win. You might not know how to write CSS, but at least you made something that looks really nice. This feels like a landing page, but if I hit generate, will it do a new UI? Okay, I don't like that that's under the fold there, but this looks really cool. It's different. Is this floating up and down? Yes, it is. Very slowly, this floats up and down. Credit where it's due. It did a good job. But what I wanted to see is the Shadcn demo, because that's what we're here for. Bun install, bun run dev. And this is the Shadcn demo with 5.2. That'll be the last one I show, because I'm going to show the same without the Shadcn stuff. Did it make the same mistakes? It made the same mistakes. I blame huge icons for this. If all the models are hallucinating it, it's huge icons. So first piece of advice with the Shadcn stuff, if you vibe code, don't use the huge icons pack. It does not know how to use it right. Cool. Well, while it's doing that, let's go look at the non-Shadcn example. Here is 5.2 with non-Shadcn. It made a little compressed UI. There's a lot of information here. I don't like how it's wrapping titles like here, the tune for beautiful defaults. But for the most part, pretty good. I think personally, I would rank the UI we just saw from Claude higher. The Opus one was really good. But once that GPT 5.2 generation on Shadcn is done, we should have something nice to look at. Yeah, this is way too busy a UI for what it is. The GPT 5.2 experience. It just took all of that time to change the imported icons and didn't actually change the icons in the UI yet. Hey, friends at Cursor, more what the fuck are you doing UI bugs. This read more button doesn't show the rest of the text. It repeats all of the text. No, it doesn't. It's a summary. This is a summary. This is the whole thing. There's so much overlap. It's just fucking, What? What? God damn it. Is this going to take 20 minutes? Like, what the fuck? I would use a faster model to make these fixes, but then it wouldn't be doing a fair test because the point is that I'm using 5.2. I am suffering. And the time it takes for GPT 5.2 to do a basic task, I can train a model that's less fucking obnoxious. I was joking. How is it still going for one icon change? I'm fucking writing the code by hand. No, I'm not, because I can't get to this easily. Fucking hell. Okay, I fixed it by hand. Well, that's a good UI. 5.2 performed much better at making a decent looking UI when given a component library. That's cool. Was it obnoxious to get here? Yeah, but again, like this has actually become an interesting model showcase where like you can make a model that's bad at UI, decent at it by giving it a component library. You can make a model that's great at UI, slightly worse at it by giving it a component library. And you can make a model that's good at following instructions, make a good UI, because that's all it can do. Yeah, this is nice. I like the little subtle gradient here. I like the way it's using the reds. I like the section down here a lot. The history is actually giving like a meaningful amount of context, and clicking does something that makes sense. This is good. It's a good mock. It thought things through a little bit more too. I see why this was preferred by the agent in Cursor when it reviewed them all and chose this one. Still rough experience to get here, I won't lie. I do actually believe if I had just used Lucid or some other icon pack that was more commonly used in training data, this would have went better. I have one last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up this video about the cool new Shadcn customization stuff. Sahaj. Why am I bringing up this random guy who follows me? Because of something he created. This is Tweakcn. Tweakcn was an easy way to make your perfect Shadcn UI theme. And it was really, really cool. It became trivial using his site here to pick different colors. You can pick directly from Tailwind colors for your different accents, your primary and your primary foreground, all of the different colors you can use for things. Your typography, it has a lot of options. You can pick different sans serif fonts versus the serif fonts versus the monospace fonts. You have other HSL adjustments you can do, or you can give it an idea of what you want it to do, and it will generate that for you. It's actually really, really cool. And part of the reason that he now works at Vercel, yes, he's now at Vercel, he made Tweakcn first. They brought him onto V0 so they can take a lot of this customization and embed it in V0. You can see this little button in the corner here that my face is covering. Open in V0. That's a genius idea. The concept of being able to customize all of these things, bring it into V0, and then go build a UI around it is awesome. That's so cool. You can make it look the style you want it to look, and then bring it to a place to make the application you want with that. There's even an export in Figma button for people who are still designing with real software. I also changed the colors, and when you change things here, it changes them for the entire site, which is really cool. I just made the homepage unreadable because I picked a primary color that wasn't bright enough against the background. I pick yellow 200 and I go to the homepage. Look at that. I think that's so cool that the whole site's theme changes when you make changes here. I don't know if there's any formal overlap between Tweakcn and the new customization built into Shadcn. I would not be surprised either way, whether Sahaj was involved in it or he wasn't, but it's clearly inspired. This is a long time coming, and it's very cool to see it go as far as it has, as quick as it has. It's really cool to see it not super duper tied to Vercel things, not even including Geist as one of the top level fonts, but instead giving you tons of options. It's really cool to see them supporting lots of different frameworks instead of just Next.js. Buddy, can I please finish filming? I'm so close. Yeah, there's so much cat hair going everywhere. I try to keep this room cat hair free, but it was CO2 level like insane, so I had to air it out. As soon as the doors open, Miles finds his way in. As I was saying, I really like that Shadcn isn't being used purely as a funnel to Vercel stuff. Their support of other frameworks, their support of other toolkits, their support of other systems, their support of Figma, All of these things are good for the entire ecosystem, and I'm really happy that Shadcn isn't being left behind in the AI era. I've seen lots of other component libraries just kind of be left to the side, whereas Shadcn is continuing to evolve. The goal of Shadcn was always to make it as easy as possible to own your components with a really good starting point. And now it's even easier to get it at the starting point you want. This represents a huge change for the entire component ecosystem. And as always, it feels like the Shadcn team and Shad himself are just leveling up the bar for the entire ecosystem. Websites are going to start looking better as a result of this being pushed, and I'm really excited for that. How do y'all feel, though? Am I overhyping these changes, or is this really exciting? I'm curious how y'all feel, and until next time, peace, nerds.